Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to the Supernatural series episode number 85 of the Limelight. I'm your host Fareen. Well, today it's one of my favorite topics, and that is manifestations. Now, manifestations is related to the law of attraction theory. You may have heard about it or come across this theory, but we have here Shashikala Kamath, who is going to explain in detail what the law of attraction is and about the manifestation. So, listeners, let's get started. Hi Shashi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you, Farin?
Fine, it's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of this wonderful podcast. I mean, a listener of this podcast to being a part of it just feels awesome.
Listeners, Shashi is my best friend from college days. Now, Shashi, before we talk about the law of attraction, I want you to tell our listeners about yourself.
My name is Shashikala Kamath, and as Farin told, we have been best buddies from college. I have been a part of IT and BPO sector for over a decade. I have worked with both service and product. I have extensively worked in quality. When I say quality, it is Six Sigma and client management, account management. Worked with clients across the globe. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I can say that I've been really blessed. Mentors to work with who have not just helped me grow professionally but also personally.
Shashi, I pray that God blesses you and your family with all the health and happiness in life.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. So, now the interesting topic. What is law of attraction?
As you know, laws of attraction is one of my favorite topics, and I think it's yours too.
Yeah.
So let's start with the concept of universe. Universe is nothing but a powerhouse of energy. Universe is benevolent, it is very generous. Now the question comes how? So it all depends on how we ask the universe, our approach. Attraction comes into picture. It gives us different techniques through which we can approach the universe. So in simple words, universe is the tool which fulfills our desires. Moving on, as we all know, everything around us is made up of energy. And when we talk about energy, the first thing that comes into our mind is frequency. Each thought that is generated in our mind also operates at a certain frequency. So what happens is every thought that is generated in our mind, it attracts similar things with the same frequency into our life. We start thinking negatively, things start going wrong in our life. And the moment our things start going good. So it is as simple as that. Our thought, our beliefs become our reality. Getting into a little bit in depth of the concept. So when we talk about laws of attraction, the first our mind is manifestations. Manifesting of desires, success for career goals, love, peace of mind, etc. etc. Different people, different desires. That is how it is. What is not spoken about this concept is this. It is not just about fulfilling your desires, the beautiful transformation that an individual is going through. There are different techniques which we will talk about a little later on this podcast. So what happens is when you start practicing these techniques, see a change in your personality, a positive change, of course. So that's about the concept. And now we're to the different techniques. These are very interesting. So when I talk about these techniques, let me just talk about the prerequisites first. It's very important. So here it is, the 3 prerequisites. The first one is faith. The second and the third one is discipline. All 3 are equally important. Faith, it's just about believing. All you need to do is believe that yes, this will work for me. And next comes the state of mind. This is where it gets a little tricky. So what happens is, as we all know, somehow tends to focus on the negative mode. We all have experienced this. Whenever we start something new or whenever we are working on something, the first thought comes into this will not work. So you need to shift the focus from what if it will not work to it will definitely work. So moving on, affirmations. So it is highly advised to practice these affirmations or in the early morning once you get up or in the night before you go to sleep. Moving on to the next prerequisite, discipline. There is a scientific study which states that any habit or anything that we continue consecutive days, it becomes a part of the lifestyle. So it is important that this minimum, we need to continue after that as well, but minimum of 21 consecutive days. This is the most essential part of it. So that's it about the prerequisites. Before I start with the techniques, let me just explain about a very crucial point, which is gratitude. Before we practice or before we start practicing these techniques, we need to practice gratitude on a daily basis, once in the morning after you wake up and in the night before you go to sleep. It is because our mind needs to resonate with higher levels of energy. Now think of it like this, a strong Wi-Fi connection. You're building this connection with the universe. So it is very important that you need to resonate at higher levels of energy. Practicing this gratitude affirmations, there are a lot of gratitude affirmations that is available online. You need to go ahead and pick the one that start practicing it on a daily basis. Now, each individual is different. So, set of gratitude affirmations that is may or may not work for you. So, you need to do a little bit of a self-analysis, a little bit of a trial and error method. You need to check affirmations work for you and which do not. So, when you start practicing affirmations, the first 1 or 2 days you'll have to spend in affirmations that suit you. And once you're done with figuring that out, you need to start practicing it on a daily basis. So that's the prerequisite. So now we are good to go with the techniques. So the first technique is 5 by 55 rule. I think the name itself suggests what it is. It is 5 days that you need to practice this technique, and 55, it stands for the 55 you need to write an affirmation. Now this is something which is again you manifesting one desire at a time. You need on a goal and decide on an affirmation that will help you in manifesting this goal. So again, it could be anything from any goal that you have. It could be a particular skill that you want to master. It could be anything, depends on you. The statement needs to be a little short and crisp. Let's say you want to lose weight. Your goal is to lose 10 kgs of weight. So you write a statement saying, I am happy that I have lost 10 kgs of weight in 2 months. 10 kgs of weight, and write a particular time duration. Be a little realistic. Think of a timeline and then write it. And you need to write it 55 times on a daily basis, preferably in the morning or in the night before you go to sleep. And remember this, while writing it, you need to read it loudly. So try to choose a place wherein there is no one around to disturb you or you are not getting distracted. It is very, very important because your focus is on your writing. Okay, and let's say you practice it for 5 days. Remember this. This is ordering something from Flipkart, or this is not like playing a game on some app. The results may or may not be immediate, but there will results if you are practicing this technique with complete conviction, with complete belief. There will be a change. You will see becoming a reality. You will have to do a little bit of a trial and error. You will have to go ahead and check what works for you and what does not. Once you do that and once you figure out what works for you, it will most definitely work. So, I've spoken about the laws of attraction concept, we have spoken about the prerequisites, and I have also told you about. Now, I would want to share a little bit more information on this. As I told before, we spoke about the state of mind. The most important technique is meditation. There are a lot of guided meditation videos. Now, again, I'm not recommending a particular video because go ahead and use a trial and error method to check which method suits you the most. So, as I told, meditation is the first technique. Second would be deep breathing. It really helps. You need to go ahead and stay away from the chaos. Practice deep breathing just before you start using the laws of attraction techniques. That's about it. I think I've spoken a lot about laws of attraction. So I think we can continue further.
Shashi, that was a load full of information on law of attraction, and I hope that our listeners will try at least or learn about it or have learned about it. And I wish manifest a lot of things in future.
Same, because I have experienced this myself, how beautifully it changed my life. You won't believe this, but then I was eyeing a promotion for a very long time at work. And by the grace of God, I came across this beautiful concept and I started applying it. It worked beautifully. It took time. Even I have had my highs and lows. At one point, I felt it may work, it may not work. But then I kept the belief and I continued, and at one point it worked. So trust me, this is going to work. You need to have that faith, that belief, that conviction that it will work, and it will work. And I really hope that happens to the listeners who are listening to this podcast right.
Yes, I wish that too. Now, after this total information about law of attraction, Shashi, I have a fun session for you. It is called the rapid fire round. I will be asking you 3 random questions. Okay?
Okay, this is what I've been eagerly waiting for.
Yeah. My first question is, which is your favorite movie?
If you ask about my favorite movie, it would be Pursuit of Happiness. Yes, the way they have portrayed the struggle of a person and how he emerges as a winner is truly, truly inspiring.
Yes, indeed, inspiring movie. One of my favorite too. Okay, tell me about one daring thing you have ever done.
One daring thing during my college time. There are a lot of daring things that we have attempted together. But then if you ask me to voice out one daring thing, that would be, this is what happened when I was in Bangalore. I was in Bangalore for about a decade, traveling by bus to work. And I have not seen this happen off late, but there were times when, especially these men used to make the women in the bus extremely uncomfortable by standing too close to them. It happened with the lady who was sitting next to me, and she was a college student, and there was this person who was coming and standing next to her, and she just told him, please don't be comfortable. And was just not acknowledging her. He continued, he said, there is no space in the bus for me to move. What I did is I confronted him and I made sure the conductor made him get off the bus. And that is one of the daring things.
Really daring of you. Okay, my last question is, if you had 60 seconds of fame, would you do?
Okay, the moment you said 60 seconds of fame, I myself standing at a podium with about thousands of people waving their hands at me.
That's lovely.
I have very, very strong visualization. That is why I think laws of attraction has worked. So I have
Okay.
60 seconds of fame. Especially when you're famous, people listen to you. People try to become like you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell people to help others.
Yes, that's what we need right now. Okay. Now that was the end of the rapid fire round, and I don't have a hamper, but I will give you when I come to India.
I'm so glad. But then I think being a part of this podcast itself is like winning a hamper.
Uh, okay, that was the end of the rapid fire round. Now we go ahead into our last section where we ask your advice for our listeners.
So, my advice for all you beautiful listeners is please remember that key to happiness is acceptance. Give yourself time, do the things that you really like. We tend to, cook favorite dishes for our parents, for our husband, children. Treat yourself sometimes. Give yourself more attention. Keep yourself as the number one priority. So once you take care of yourself, easy to take care of the rest of the people around you. That is one thing. And secondly, life is not perfect. Perfection is highly, highly overrated. I strongly believe that. So we will always have up and downs. Not always have, but then we will have problems. We will come across problems. But then each time you remember this, do not see it as a problem, but see it as a wonderful opportunity to improve yourself, self improvement. Because remember that you are immensely blessed and you are getting this chance to become a better version of yourself, maybe add a new skill set, become a stronger person emotionally. A problem is helping you to go ahead and achieve something which you have not achieved yet. So look at a problem as an opportunity. From then on, you will not see a problem as a problem. Please try this approach. See how life will change for you.
Shashi, that was lovely advice, and yes, self love is important, and only if we are happy, we can make others happy. And Shashi, I thank you for taking time for this interview and explaining the concept of law attraction and the techniques. I thank you so much, dear.
Thank you, Fareen, for inviting me to be a part of this podcast. It was really wonderful. And I would like to wish all our listeners that they are blessed abundantly with joy, great health, and peace of mind.
Thank you so much, Shashi. Okay,
Hmm.
listeners, if you liked this episode, please click on the like button of the Limelight page. Thank you for listening, and I love.